mastery. It's a powerful orientation, doctor. It is a choice that one makes, to hold towards oneself and that of the world. It's a commitment towards self, not to give up till you have reached your highest potential. It's a journey. It has no destination. Every day you meet your new self. Every day you bend, you inculcate some more things inside you, and you found a new version. At the end of the day, you have almost lost what you were yesterday, because now you are looking at a new you. It is a process of transformation ourselves from the inside out. It's an inner journey. And trust me, everybody is born with a gift. Very few people, they unfold that gift. Self-mastery is all about homecoming. It's about unfolding. It's about the teacher who's guiding you back to yourself, because that is the place where all the power lies. It has got lots of layers. It has got lots of layers. So it starts with self-awareness. It goes to self-exploration, then self-understanding. Finally, it's self-love with self-transformation, and end of the day, it's self-mastery. Doctor, when we are happy, we don't make an issue out of it. But suddenly things go topsy-turvy. We start, we want validation from people. We want sympathy words. We want somebody to come and help us out. So I understood that much of my experience is about the meaning I'm giving to it. So I wanted to hack this, At that point in time, I wanted to understand what is happening. Because I was conflicted. There's one part of Anjali which is ready to take the entire experience head on. And the other part of Anjali is sad and depressed. I wanted that alignment. I took a call. I came back to India. I went through the entire journey, of lots of awareness. I met a lot of spiritual masters in the process. I did NLP, I did transactional analysis, and life started to unfold. It gave me those colors and shades which told me there's more to it. I became a pioneer soul searcher. I became a dream life designer. I became a lifelong learner. And this journey just wouldn't stop. I was enriching myself every day. Every day there was a new neural pathway created. Every day was a beautiful experience. And the time came when I felt really strong. I felt that I can take the challenges in life. And then I realized there are a lot of people out there, going through similar experiences. Maybe at some point in time, they give up. Maybe at some point in time, they do not find that kind of support. I'm not just talking of the women out here. I'm talking of people in general. And then I left whatever I was doing. I was heading the operations in VFS Global in Nigeria. I left that, came back to India. I was on the other side of the polarity. I was in a self-discovery mode. And then I decided, no, I want to be a coach. I want to be a self-mastery coach. Because this is one aspect people have not touched. They go all around the world. The only ignored part is self. We have territories all around the world, but we do not have a territory in our own mind. So my journey started, So my journey started from breakdown to breakthroughs, from compulsiveness to consciousness, from delusion to direction, and from fallacy to fact. This is how I got into this journey. And trust me, doctor, it's a beautiful one.
Welcome everyone to HEARTtalk, coming to you live from Kota Kinabalu in Sabah in Malaysia. And so here's my opening statement for today. We live in a world of disruption, fragmentation, and total chaos by events that are happening around us that deter our own intentions to live the best life ever, the life that we were created for. 40 years ago, in the 1980s, when I was in England, they talked about the great inflation of the 80s. 40 years fast forward, it's the same world playing the same game again, where we're talking about inflation, crisis of living. There's so much that is happening around us. In England, they're talking about no food on the table, prices of fuel. And in this part of the world, in the Asia Pacific, we are walking into a debt storm of many lives that are just being lived as if you're on a treadmill of a wheel of mediocrity. But the biggest deterrent is not about the environment on the outside. It's about the world on the inside. And what is keeping our intentions alive, our hopes alive, our dreams alive? What's the vision that we have of each of us living in this world today? There's only one physiological purpose. And I speak to you as a doctor after 40 years of working and 35 years as a plastic surgeon. There's only one real purpose, even in our field. It's the purpose of growth. We want to grow, even though, in the spiritual context, we're all born dead in our sins because of our fallen nature, because of total depravity, because of the lostness of the soul. But we have every chance today, in this life, to live the best life. And so, people know us by our digital reputation. You just go into any social media, you just press there, about so-and-so, and you get a report, a printout about who the person is. But the real person, the unlived potential, is still deep within. So today we have a masterclass conversation on a real issue which is called self-mastery. Honestly, it's something new for me. We hear everything about the self. Over the last 10 years, it's all about the self. You name it. Self-care, self-wisdom, self-resilience, self-this. I'm up to my neck with the word self. But if you can master yourself and what's happening on the inside, we'll be winners in this life. Otherwise, we'll be, again, as I said, spinning on that wheel of mediocrity instead of living on the wheel of abundance. So, today, my guest on Heart Talk is a self-mastery coach. She's a corporate trainer, a facilitator, a HR consultant. She's an environmentalist. She's the founder of what's called Be Power Consulting. She's a healer. And these are her own words. I touch lives to leave them better than when I found them. And that touched my heart. Because as I was surfing through and going through a number of personalities, here was a lady that is touching lives. And you're going to meet her right now. Her name is Anjali Srivastava. And she's from India. And we're going to invite her in to join us right now on Heart Talk. Welcome, Anjali.
Thank you, Charles. It's an honor to be here with you.
And it's an honor to, really see you. Now, which part of India are you from?
I'm from Mumbai, Charles.
Mumbai.
Yes.
That's where all the Bollywood, all the Bollywood people are living in Mumbai, right?
Yes, the rock and roll place.
All the rock and roll place. Well, really, really lovely to see you. So, let's start off, okay? Because this is a masterclass, lunchtime conversation about the real issues, and that is about the issue of the self. And so now, define self-mastery. Why did you go there? How did you get that title to be your channel of a wheel of fortune for everyone else?
Okay. So now, self-mastery. It's a powerful orientation, doctor. It is a choice that one makes, to hold towards oneself and that of the world. It's a commitment towards self, not to give up till you have reached your highest potential. It's a journey. It has no destination. Every day you meet your new self. Every day you bend, you inculcate some more things inside you, and you found a new version. At the end of the day, you have almost lost what you were yesterday, because now you are looking at a new you. It is a process of transformation ourselves from the inside out. It's an inner journey. And trust me, everybody is born with a gift. Very few people, they unfold that gift. Self-mastery is all about homecoming. It's about unfolding. It's about the teacher who's guiding you back to yourself, because that is the place where all the power lies. It has got lots of layers. It has got lots of layers. So it starts with self-awareness. It goes to self-exploration, then self-understanding. Finally, it's self-love with self-transformation, and end of the day, it's self-mastery.
Now, to get there, let's just make it personal.
Yes.
Because, we hear so many of these different faculties and evolutions of all the self. I know for my last guest, we were having this nice conversation, and there's so many things that are happening even in my own life after working for 40 years, Anjali. I never went and started this journey of self-inspection and self-retrospection and all the introspections of all. I just lived my life, and I missed out a lot about knowing myself. You see, it's about the knowing that makes you become the person that gives more. And sometimes the journey from the head to the heart can take a lifetime, which we're going to talk about, because you got to master the mind and you got to master the heart. As far as the heart is concerned, it is deceptive beyond cure as far as the religious part of it is concerned. What got you in your personal journey to go into this whole domain of self-mastery? Because you're right, it's an orientation, it's an orientation of oneself towards what we hold in ourselves to the world. If we orientate our lives to what the world is giving us, we will fail, because we will never reach the end of our life. But this word that you use, orientation towards what's happening on the inside, can take a lifetime, because we're all the time being orientated to what is happening on the outside. So share with us your journey of how that orientation became personal and it became a path and a journey to find the bigger side of you on the inside. The richer Anjali, the Anjali that touches lives, the Anjali that will not succumb to any pressure on the outside. You found your you, and that you found your you, and that's the most jewelous part of life, the jewel within. So take us on that journey. How and when did you realize there's more than me?
It has been.
There's more. I'm enough. There's more than enough in me, and I want more of myself. So yeah, I want to touch that part, because you're a healer. It's part of your resume.
So my story starts in the year 2012. I was in Nigeria, and things were going topsy-turvy at the marriage front. I was living a compulsive life. There has been lots of breakdowns. There has been lots of delusions. There has been lots of fallacies. It was not easy, for a woman with two small children, taking control of the life. It has been a painful experience at that point in time. But one thing that helped me was that small voice, which used to always tell me, Anjali, there's more to you. There's more to you. Stand up. Stand your ground, and you will be there. I don't know what was that guiding force. I still cannot name that. But I was always guided by that supreme power. I always felt it around me. I felt as if I was, embraced by that power. I'm a person who is religious. I believe that there is pure consciousness, all around us. And I believe that there are a lot of strength that we can derive from the universe. It is the source of our strength. And when I was going through this journey, and slowly as I started unfolding myself, and I got attached to that higher self of mine, which is every day in evolution, I found that all these experiences, that I was naming as a sad experience, as failures, as stress, they were actually just a narration given by me. Doctor, when we are happy, we don't make an issue out of it. But suddenly things go topsy-turvy. We start, we want validation from people. We want sympathy words. We want somebody to come and help us out. So I understood that much of my experience is about the meaning I'm giving to it. So I wanted to hack this, At that point in time, I wanted to understand what is happening. Because I was conflicted. There's one part of Anjali which is ready to take the entire experience head on. And the other part of Anjali is sad and depressed. I wanted that alignment. I took a call. I came back to India. I went through the entire journey, of lots of awareness. I met a lot of spiritual masters in the process. I did NLP, I did transactional analysis, and life started to unfold. It gave me those colors and shades which told me there's more to it. I became a pioneer soul searcher. I became a dream life designer. I became a lifelong learner. And this journey just wouldn't stop. I was enriching myself every day. Every day there was a new neural pathway created. Every day was a beautiful experience. And the time came when I felt really strong. I felt that I can take the challenges in life. And then I realized there are a lot of people out there, going through a similar experiences. Maybe at some point in time they give up. Maybe at that some point in time they do not find that kind of support. I'm not just talking of the women out here. I'm talking of people in general. And then I left whatever I was doing. I was heading the operations in VFS Global in Nigeria. I left that, came back to India. I was on the other side of the polarity. I was in a self-discovery mode. And then I decided, no, I want to be a coach. I want to be a self-mastery coach. Because this is one aspect people have not touched. They go all around the world. The only ignored part is self. We have territories all around the world, but we do not have a territory in our own mind. So my journey started, yes. So my journey started from breakdown to breakthroughs, from compulsiveness to consciousness, from delusion to direction, and from fallacy to fact. This is how I got into this journey. And trust me, doctor, it's a beautiful one.
I know I can feel it. And call me Charles, please. Um, this from breakdowns to breakthroughs. None of us have not tasted that part of our lives. I mean, life is never smooth. It was never meant to be smooth. Okay, but while you were finding yourself, your inner self, and that's it too in Nigeria. Were you searching it out on your own, or did you have people around you? Were there people like-minded who kind of like nurtured and helped you along the way, or was it just a self journey of just moving on like a sojourner through a wilderness experience? You know what I mean?
I found a lot of like-minded people. I found a lot of strong people who were quite connected to their self. Those have been the pillar of my strength. Like it's said by Jim Rohn that you are a mix of the 5 people you stay with.
Yes.
So that core group has been, I'm blessed that way. That core group has been a very refined, very encouraging, very empowered set of people. So those people have been the source of my inspiration. They guided me through. While in Nigeria, I used to go to churches a lot. There were a lot of pastors who would guide me. I would read Bible. I would try to understand things. And there's one particular phase which really, catches my attention all the time. Seek and you will find. So I wanted to seek. There was something I was seeking, and that thing was seeking me too. It was a two-way process.
Excellent.
Right?
Yes.
But it was guided. Yeah, it is always like that, right? And I also feel, doctor, that we all go through transformation, we all go through awakening. It is either with insight or either with pain. If you have heard about Bernard Beckwith, he says it's Kensho and Satori, that you either learn through pains or you learn through awakenings and insights. In my case, it started with pain. The journey triggered with pain. But later on, it was through awakening. It was very much self-directed. It has been an inward journey, and I'm still in the process. I cannot master myself still.
Sure, we never will until it's the end, and it's always a enlightening journey. And this part of your life that now when you are so full of yourself that you're able to give, this it's so different now because self mastery puts you into a place of giving because you start
Yes.
becoming so grateful of what you have been receiving that suddenly when you master yourself. Now I want to go deeper into this whole concept of self mastery. What are the areas? All of us have darkness and all of us have some light. It's always every part of us. I remember those days we used to hear this song by Simon and Garfunkel, where they say they sing this song called Silence. Hello darkness my old friend, I've come to talk with you again. And self mastery, I want your opinion, but it's really befriending the darkness within. It's not about going against all the nastiness of what we have, or whether it's anger, whether it's resentment, whatever. I think the winning part is the word transcendence, to transcend all those negativity and make it a friend, love the enemy within. Because that's the only way we win. So talk to us about that part of self-mastery. How did you befriend the darkness within, the pain within, and come out victoriously?
The first thing that gets you close to yourself is self-awareness.
Okay.
It is accepting yourself for what you are and what you are not. It is accepting yourself for the entirety, for the totality. I'm not a good human being all the time. I have my own dark side, and I reveal it at the right time. The time I feel is right is where I reveal the dark side, which is okay, because we are all human, right?
Yes.
But all said and done, as soon as it comes to my awareness, it comes to my knowledge that, hey, Anjali, this is the time you behave like this, you could have been better. That is where the journey triggers, it starts.
Self. Understanding that self part.
Acceptance, yes. Acceptance is very important here. As soon as you start accepting yourself for what you are, and with the awareness, you can definitely undergo a transformation. It is a very gradual process. It requires lots of mindfulness. It requires lots of self-love and empathy. You have to forgive yourself for what you have not been. Sometimes when I look at, a particular spot 10 years back, and I ask myself, I could have done better. But then at that point in time, I was not what I am today. I had evolved.
Yes. Yes. Through the
I have
pain.
evolved today. Yes, I was not the same person. So that means I got to accept myself for what I was at that point in time. I was not as I am today. I didn't have this point of view. I didn't work on myself the way I did today.
Right.
And that is precisely where you got to hit and understand.
Okay. So if I want to sign up with you as a self-mastery coach, and I tell you, Anjali, I'm in a mess, and I've lost sight of the soul within. It's all about the lostness of the soul. So where do you start with someone who comes to you, and where's this journey begin? Where do you take them to?
See, I always feel that life is a DIY project. It's do it yourself.
No, but if it's a do-it-yourself, then there are no coaches around. I
Yes.
tell you, over the last 5 years, you go into LinkedIn, everybody's a coach. High-performance coach, low coach, nice coach, life coach. There are so many coaches, I don't know which train to get on. Because there are so many coaches. But okay, go ahead, do it yourself. This is interesting. Okay, so where do we go from there?
Okay, so nobody here needs to be rescued or saved.
Okay.
Neither you, neither me. We all need to understand that we are powerful, we are resourceful, and we can make it. That resourcefulness is subdued because of some conditioning, because of some experiences that we have had in our lives. We lose on that resourcefulness, we lose on that self-confidence. There is a lot of self-sabotage, there's a lot of self-doubt. And where does the coach actually comes into play is where the coach transforms you, takes you through that journey. It starts with transaction, it starts with talking. And slowly this transaction becomes a transformation. Yes, it's a beautiful process. It will be different for Charles as it will be different for Anjali. We all have our own pace. And we cannot contest there, we cannot debate. You have your own set of experiences, your own education, and your own environment. I call it the 3 E's.
Mm-hmm.
So experience, environment, and education.
Okay, all right. The 3 E's, okay.
So, yes, it's unique. So Charles has his set of 3 E's, which has conditioned him to what he is today. I have my own set of 3 E's, which has conditioned me to what I am today. And not every behavior that I've had in the past is serving me, right? I have to let go of certain behaviors. certain attitudes. I have to work below the waterline. Now, if I tell you work below the waterline, you will be amazed that just 10% of our behaviors, whatever we see on the outside, is actually governed by 90% of who we are inside.
No wonder I can't swim because because
So it's like the iceberg.
once you go
It
below the
weighs you
water
down.
line, it's all
It
it's a
weighs you.
mess.
It weighs you down. It actually does. So most of the time, we know a lot of things, but we are not into the action mode. Knowing is not doing. I may not know a lot of things, but it has to click me at the right time that, oh, wow, this is the situation. I got to deploy this strategy here. But most of the time I cannot get into action is because of the conditioning I've had throughout. It's because of the environment, because of my upbringing, because of what I was told as a child. I'm born in a different family with a different upbringing, with different set of values and cultures and rituals. As I grew up, with my education, I got to unlearn certain things. I got to relearn, strategize myself, use these strategies till they become redundant. Much like the eagle that has to, after 40 years, it has to go to an isolated place, get rid of the talons and the wings,
Yes.
grow a new one. Yes, it's a painful process. It's a very painful process. But every individual needs to outgrow whatever they have been holding as a baggage, over them for a long time. It's not serving. Most of our beliefs, most of our, habits, most of our attitudes, after some time, they become redundant, but we still carry them. So a coach is somebody who will bust this myth for you. The coach will make you work on yourself. A coach will direct you towards yourself.
Well done.
That power, yes, that power that you have within, that will be unleashed by a self-mastery coach.
So I can understand that part because even in our own, working atmosphere and whatever we do, it's like the ant sitting on top of an elephant, and the ant wants to go one way, and the elephant wants to go the other way, and there's always this constraints of tug and war going on within oneself. And I was having a wonderful discussion with a Dr. Tana, and she was talking about the inner critic and the inner sage, and how life is all about voices within, conversations that we have with ourselves, and then how do we come out strong so that it's like metamorphosis. At the end of the day, you want to fly like a butterfly, and those stages that one goes through. Now, where does healing come in? I mean, so when one is sort of getting over all the experience, it's about metacognition is thinking about what you are thinking. So there must be something on meta self mastery where you're experiencing what you're experiencing and taking stock of that and taking it. Talk to us about that because I'm excited with that because every experience takes me backwards. some of course they, I tell you something, Anjali. My heart talk conversations with all my guests are so therapeutic. And it's such a joy, talking to you because I learn from every guest. And I think learning is the gift when we are
Yes.
going through life. That if you are willing to learn at whatever age you are in, it only makes you grow. That's why I said in the beginning, the physiological purpose of self-mastery of oneself is growth.
It
and
is.
and if you allow ourselves to grow, I think that's where the whole transformation process comes in. So we talked about healing. So I guess as you're ministering to your clients and bringing them out from what's trapping them, it's a process, and healing takes place, right? What about the part of the experience part of it? When they manifest into what we were talking about. We were all created beings, right? You talked about manifestation once. So how does that play in?
So you will be surprised, Charles, when it comes to manifestation, we are actually, our consciousness is the creator of our life.
Right.
Whatever is happening in my life, I have created. The only thing is, we are not mindfully creating it. In any case, we are creating a life. Even if it is a bad life, it is a creation of mind. It is a good life, it is the creation of mind. So we may as well put in our efforts, get mindful and create a life that has got meaning. So
Yes.
we got to tap. we got to tap that subconscious within us, that ally, that potent friend of ours, which we have not even touched in our life. And then we want to live an abundant life with a wholesome experience,
Yeah, I mean,
So,
point taken, because it is, I think, what we all miss out. When I look at my own medical career, and 40 years ago, I believe that psychology should be a permanent subject for everyone in whatever field that they're doing, because the strains of life itself is becoming so messy, and yet we want to keep the intentions of why we are living alive. And I think that it's always about me against me. Everything is a front, but at the end of the day, it's you're challenging yourself. It's about ourselves as the biggest hindrance to
yes.
what we want to have our intentions to be. And so when we go on to mastery itself, I mean, in a little while left that we have, when we talk about self mastery, it's as if I'm going for a taekwondo and I want to get a black belt. It's like, it gives you an impression and a feeling that there are so many sparring stages, like in taekwondo, they got this spar and that spar. They're all soft punches that you go through until you're a master. And I don't think anybody can ever end up with being total masters of themselves, because people change, environments change them. And I know that even in my own life, it's the upbringing, the exposure, and I know what I've done to my own children, and they have formulated ideas of what life should be. And there's, like I said, there's so much more damage than healing. But I think your biggest point and take home is to let go, and just let things go and be healed. But are there stages in the whole self mastery flow? Because to be a coach, you would have obviously got black belt. I dare not come near you.
So, most of the people think that it's a destination. It's not a destination. There is no destination in self mastery. There are thoughts which we plant as seeds in the mind. We do it mindfully. In any case, Charles, we are planting seeds in the mind. With the 15,000 to 60,000 thoughts in a day, and 150 ideas all over our brain. In any case, I am planting. Our mind is not given to us to create happiness. Our mind is always in the survival mode. So to be happy is a very conscious decision. I have to mindfully create a life where I have to be happy, because mind knows just one thing: survival mode and how to keep you safe. Mind is not designed to keep you happy. You got to train your mind before the mind trains you to be unhappy and to be in the survival mode all the time. This is where you got to work. We all got to work here. Also, if it is self-control is strength, right thought is mastery, calmness is power, like it is rightly said. To understand yourself is power. To love yourself is freedom. To forgive yourself is peace. And to be yourself is a bliss.
Powerful.
Can anyone beat me in being myself? If I'm myself all the time, can anybody beat me? No. That's a unique gift. We all have it. Like I always say, when I coined me power as a word, I always say nobody is me and that is my power. But this applies for everybody. That me power is there in you. That me power is there in me. And it's a unique gift. If I operate with that me power in the entire levels of the Maslow's hierarchy, right from living to security needs, to love and belongingness, to self-actualization, which is at the top of the Maslow. If I bring my self-mastery right at the first stage, with the security need and with my me power club, don't you think my journey will be a bliss?
Obviously.
Instead of actualizing myself at the end of the journey. If I bring my me power right at the first stage, I think my journey will be a beautiful one.
But you still have a vision of where the end point is going to be, right? I mean, it's like climbing a mountain. You see the summit, but you actualize where the summit is, but you have no idea how many feet that climb is going to be. And you just want to be able to go step by step and and actualize every journey, every step, and
Yes.
orientate yourself to the final goal. I mean, it's I see your point. But Anjali, when you're talking about this at the bottom, right? Let's say the first rung. As human beings, we are hardwired to be in the comfort zone.
Yes.
We are wired that way. And it takes a lot of nudge and a lot of push and a lot of sparring to get us out from the comfort zone. You see, because for one is fear. I mean, it's like coming out of Egypt. I want to go back to Egypt because there was good life. We were by the river Nile. We had all the food we wanted. We had a lot of fish, and all the grumbling comes in. So a lot of us are actually quite happy in the safety zone. But the moment we are challenged to step out, fear takes over, insecurity. And I think, how does one handle that when you keep telling them, there's a great potential, you have to awaken the giant inside of you, you have unlived potential, but we are swimming and pedaling the wheel of mediocrity within the comfort zone. How as a coach, do you nudge them out? I mean, I could be one all the time. Procrastination is the biggest deterrent of living a fulfilled life, to procrastinate. So, what's your prick in there as you go and burst the bubble and it goes pow, and the person suddenly sees, ooh, I'm on the other side of this hill, that kind of thing, and the view is beautiful. Why didn't I move earlier? Come on,
So,
coach, give it to us.
yes.
Spa.
Yes. So when it comes to people coming to me, with their own set of experience, there's a pattern. There's a pattern. They will meet similar kind of people. They will have similar kind of experience all throughout. So if a coach can bust it for them, we are all in a particular vibration all the time. When it comes to our thought process, its thoughts are always in frequency. Emotions always have vibrations. So if you have heard about the alpha omega cone of consciousness, every feeling is attached to a vibration. So if I'm talking of anger and desire, it is at 125 and 150.
Right.
And if I'm talking of love and peace, it is at 500. It is at 600.
No
When
wonder I've
you
always been at the 100 and not gone to 500.
So when you have the liberty to touch yourself, to the 1000 and the 500, is it not that we have chosen to stay at the 100 and meet those kind of people in the same vibration, giving us the same experience, undergoing the same pain all the time? Whereas I have a choice to raise. I have a choice to raise my standards and my experience level and my vibration.
What if I don't have any need to? I'm quite happy there. I'm vibrating. And, I mean, the number of people who have passed a comment saying, why are you always angry? Why are you always like this? You know what I mean? And you actually walking around like a zombie in that 100 vibration. And they're playing you want to go up and do some nice, different kind of music up there because it's better, to taste love. How does one, like an electron bursts its circle and spits out to another circle, right? These electrons fire. How do you get the person out into the next vibrating zone? What do you do? What do I have to do? Come on, coach.
These are simple things. You got to connect to yourself.
Okay.
If you are somebody who is into meditation, if you're somebody who believes in mind, body, soul alignment,
Okay.
if you are somebody who believes that there will be a conflict, but you are greater than your conflict, there will be certain negative emotions, but you are beyond that negativity. There is a thought, but you're not that thought, right? When you get that awareness, that there is a pattern in my life which I got to break. There is a better life waiting for me. That has to trigger, that awakening has to come from me.
But isn't that supposed to, I mean, there must be somebody in front of you that's going to help you trigger it, but there must be a purpose to move to the next firing level, right? Of my own, I won't move. Of my own, I'm quite happy. That's why it's called comfort zone. We are wired that way. But how do you twist the neurons to fire, neurons together, fire together, right? So how do you build a new synapse where the person starts vibrating in a different, there must be somebody happening around. There must be a person or something like that, a purpose, all right?
There has to be. We are all people with purpose, right? And most of the time, we are not even realizing what we are born for. So when you are into a coaching conversation with your coach, the coach will always direct you towards your purpose. It's all about you. It's all about the client. It's never about the coach.
Absolutely.
It is in the process. It is in the process. It is a very client-centric activity. It was never about the coach. So when I'm talking to Charles and when he's sharing his experience with me,
I'm in the 500
and
level.
yes,
If
and
I would.
as as he's talking about his previous experiences, the one that suddenly puts him and gives him a high of 400, decibels or whatever level is there, and then suddenly the vibration comes down. You yourself realize, as a coachee, as a client, you yourself realize that no, this is not my place. This is not where I want to be. If I'm today here and if I want to be here, I have to bridge this delta. I have to bridge this gap.
Right.
That realization comes in the process of a coaching conversation.
Nice. I mean, I tell you, I'm asking all these questions because at the end of this, you got to let people know how to reach you. It
Yes.
doesn't matter which part of the world it is, but because I'm having this heart-to-heart conversation, because including myself, many of us struggle in these vibrating zones, and I haven't tasted, like when I have a piece of music, and I'm with
Right.
myself and I'm having my tequila. I'm operating at a 1,000 level decibels because it's a time of my life, but because of the situation and the environment and the pressures of life, we all come back to that 100
Right.
decibels and we start operating there. And so I think this is beautiful. I mean, such a powerful journey of self mastery, isn't it? It's like getting a black belt. So many sparring through life, so many knocks. Get up, move on to the next one, pick up the next prize, keep on going until you've fought the fight, the good fight, to the
Yes.
very end. So, okay, so very quickly now, because of we are closing up. So we talked about self mastery. You talked about the first level, right? And then the next
Yes.
one, quickly, the next one is
We talked of self-awareness. We talked of
self awareness,
self-exploration.
self
Yes,
exploration.
self-exploration. Then we talked of self-understanding of what you are and what you're not.
Okay.
Why you do something, in a particular way. So all these are areas where you got to hack yourself. You got to biohack yourself. And then self-love. Unless you start loving yourself, nothing's gonna change, Charles.
I tell
Everything
you,
starts.
Anjali,
Yes.
11 years ago, I remember my first podcast was with a psychologist, and it was after my open heart bypass surgery. And the first thing she said was, "You need to love yourself." And you need to love your. And I said, "What on earth is she talking about, man?" I didn't know what the heck she was talking about. And be kind to yourself. Those are the words she used. And still today, I'm still trying to find out to be kind. So excellent. So thank you. So self-awareness, and then there's self-understanding, and then there's self-love. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the next one,
Self-transformation.
self-transformation. It's all about the self. Okay. Once you start loving
Self-transformation.
yourself, you become
Yes.
transformed.
Yes. And it's a slow process. It takes time because the conditioning, we are always bound by conditioning. To let go of old patterns, old behaviors, self-doubts, limiting beliefs, all the rejections, they have somewhere left, a lot of impact on us, on each one of us. So it takes time to overgrow that. Time is not the healer. It is only when you overgrow that experience that you're done with it.
Beautiful.
You got to, yes, you got to heal. You got to heal to see that your slate is clean. Unless you empty yourself, how can you bring in more experiences? If I'm full till my brim, how will I bring in new experience?
Okay.
So unlearn, empty yourself,
Yes, because
take a pause.
beautiful, because this is the second top, right? The self transformation. Because Abraham Herschel was a famous philosopher, and he said the untransformed life is not worth living.
Actually,
Okay, so you're reaching the summit. You're coming close to
yes,
the top, and
yes,
he's right. And even Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. So now we have come to the transformation. It starts with love, and the love has now filled up the person, and you feel transformed into this new wing of life where you're ready to fly. and the song "Fly Me to the Moon," and it's all about flying up, get out above the stars, and so finally the climax is self mastery, right? You reach that. Okay. Okay, I made it, and I remember this is beautiful. It's like Edmund Hillary, when he wanted to climb Mount Everest, and he couldn't do that 2 3 times, and then one day he stopped and he said, he was talking to the mountain, and he said, "You can't grow anymore, but I can."
Yes.
And
That's where the power is.
that's where the power is. It was a powerful moment for me when I heard that the mountain cannot grow anymore, but I will grow and reach the summit. And he did with Sherpa Tenzing. And so, this is wonderful, man. I mean, we should have more of, the reaching to the top. And thank you for taking us on this journey of self mastery. I know there's more to come. We've just been scratching, snorkeling through.
There's
And
the entire gamut out there. We have not even touched on the neurotransmitters, how you can hack it, how you can
correct.
engineer. Yeah, there are a lot of things. So
Yes.
maybe we
We
can
should.
hold it till next time.
Why not? We'll have because I'm having all these conferences on neuroscience and neuroplasticity and trying to understand the mind, because I think the biggest frontier medicine today is about the mind. We are moving into that area of life today, where people are understanding more of the mind and how does that come against and deter the intentions that one have in life. And because at the end of the day, we want to live the best life and be the best person of ourselves, be the best version of ourselves. And
Exactly.
so once we have more Anjali coaches, we will be on the right train. And anyway, so on that note, Anjali, what will be your final message to all of us?
I have a small quote which I will read it out. I
Please.
keep reminding myself all the time. It says, "Give, but do not be used. Love, but do not be abused. Trust, but do not be naive. Listen, but do not lose your voice."
Do not lose your
Voice.
voice. Yeah, oh, beautiful. Would you say that again? Slowly.
Yes. Give, but do not be used. Love, but do not be abused. Trust, but do not be naive. Listen, but do not lose your voice.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, love you very much. Thank you for taking us to the top of the mountain, and we hope that we'll all master this journey in life. We know that we all have the potential to live to the fullest. It's been a wonderful, to listen to you from where you were and how pain has nurtured you and molded you to the person who you are today, and touching lives and healing lives. And I know there's more to come. But this is a wonderful opportunity to have you join us on Heart Talk. So on that note, Anjali, thank you very much from all of us, from our producer Mary, and from Heidi, our for producer and coordinators here. This is my clinic, and so it's a rejuvenating clinic at lunchtime to have this lunchtime talk with you. So once again, from all of us, thank you, Anjali, and continue to be that healer. We all need you.
Thank you, Charles. And I'm grateful for you bringing me here and making me speak and giving me the opportunity to touch lives again. Thank you so
Amen.
much. God
Not
bless.
at all. Yeah, bless you. So, friends, from all of us here in Heart Talk, you have heard, what it is to become a self master, and because life is about learning, and learning is about life, and if we all have that, passion of humility, we will never stop learning. The moment we think we have made it is when we start the downfall in life. So once again, we want to thank you for joining us on Heart Talk. Please remember, next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Malaysian time, we are launching the first inaugural Mind Manifest plenary lecture. And the speaker is Michael Aaron Rios, who is the president of Aptus in America. And it will be a wonderful time to learn the power of vision and how to embrace change in the new norm of today. The power of vision. So on that note, from all of us, thank you very much for joining us on Heart Talk. We'll see you again, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.